You know, I love this town. Crawley, proud new town, home of hard-working people just trying to pay the bills, fix the car, and find a decent place to live. But every time I look at what our borough council is doing with our money, I think, these clowns must be running some kind of comedy club, except we're the ones paying for the tickets. Let's start with their masterpiece, the Create building. This shiny new 9-story palace they built on the Boulevard cost the best part of £10.8 million for the office bit alone. Their brilliant plan? We'll rent out the fancy spaces and make money back for the taxpayers. How's that working out? More than half the bloody offices are still empty. Over £1 million in lost rent already, heading towards £2 million in losses. Meanwhile, there are vacant offices all over town they could have just moved into like normal people. But no, they had to build their own monument. Think about that for a second. That £10.8 million could have built somewhere between 28 and 66 actual homes. You know, the thing people keep begging for while we're in a housing emergency. But apparently shiny glass and empty desks were more important. And while they're patting themselves on the back for that, they're spending another £2.8 million refurbishing the car park next to the old council office. New facades, fancy panels, lifts. Because nothing says we care about residents, like making sure the councillors have nice parking while your potholes laugh at you. Now, let's talk about the gift that keeps on giving. Those 1950s temporary flats in West Green and Furnace Green. Built quick and cheap for the Newtown workers, supposed to last 30 years. We're now 45 years past their expiration date and they're falling apart like cheap furniture. Major repairs needed. They had chances. Maidenbower in the 90s, Ifield in the 2000s, Kilnwood Vale, Forge Wood, plenty of big housing projects, but fixing or replacing these crumbling ones? Nah, too hard. Instead, they sell some on 99-year leases and kick the problem down the road for the next poor sods. Brilliant. Meanwhile, temporary accommodation spending has exploded from a couple £100,000 to over £5 million. That's not mismanagement, that's performance art. And my personal favourite, £7.3 million to rip up and redo the paving slabs all through the town centre. Again. Because the lovely new slabs they laid just a few years ago apparently weren't good enough. While roads crumble and parks need love, let's make the high street look pretty. One more time. This is classic council logic, folks. Spend millions on prestige projects that don't deliver. Ignore the boring stuff people actually need. Then act shocked when the budget's screwed. They're not managing money, they're managing to waste it with Olympic-level skill. So next time they talk about difficult choices and regeneration, just remember, your council tax is funding empty offices, fancy car parks, and temporary buildings older than your nan. What do you reckon? Seen any other masterpieces of waste in Crawley? Drop them in the comments. Smash like if you're fed up. Subscribe to Crawley Insider. We're keeping an eye on these geniuses for you.